So I'm here with Julius Leone. He's with our co-op program at
Hello.
RunSignup. And Julius, how about you tell us what is the co-op program and how'd you get started with it?
Well, I just like to look at it as like an internship basically during your semester that you can earn credits for and get paid for. So it's a really great opportunity for students to kind of, instead of being in a classroom and learning like about software engineering, they can go and get actual real experience and talk to industry experts like at RunSignup or other companies that sponsor Rowan. I really got started when I heard about it in one of my first computer science programming classes. The professor for that course is the coordinator for co-ops at Rowan, Professor Shen. And she was telling everybody, oh, it's just a great opportunity if you are at the top of your class to kind of get some experience, get restricted elective credit, and kind of set yourself up for better chances at getting a job outside of college instead of just like hoping for an internship. You can kind of go through this school sponsored route where they kind of help you make the connections a bit more and lead you through the interview process, and you have a professor to actually kind of lend you a hand there. Yeah, so I got started by having a class with her and then going through that.
Now, what kind of projects have you worked on through that program?
So through the co-op program at RunSignup, I've worked on, let's see, I've worked on some website builder stuff, like adding some components in and customizing components so far, as well as stuff for like charities like Tunnel to Towers, which I think is really like the best stuff to work on when like a client is asking for something, and it's like somewhere that's doing something good. They want you to add something to the site, and you can kind of see the fruits of your labor immediately. So for them, I did custom domain copying and some other stuff with reserved entries. Like it wasn't the biggest project in the world, but it still felt good to like see that and then see it on a newsletter too. It's nice to have like recognition for your work, where with school you kind of just get a grade for it and you move on. It's not really used anywhere. So I think it's a very unique thing for that. And then right now I'm working on implementing Google Analytics. It's actually cool because I got to like hop on a call with some bigger clients and stuff like that and kind of see how the conversation between a client and a software developer would go, and how they kind of reach out and do that in the real world instead of just learning about it through like a tech writing course or something like that.
Now, did you know about RunSignup before coming into RunSignup, or had you heard stuff about the company?
So I work on the website development team at Rowan. So we actually had software engineering classes there, and there were some articles about like research we did with RunSignup. I think that's what it's considered. And so I would have to like kind of process the articles and put up banners for them. So I heard about them through that, and I asked about it. And of course, we had like former students and even web team employees go to RunSignup. So then I kind of learned more about it through there. And then when I was actually going through the co-op process, like that's when I like really learned more about it. But yeah, I think there is a big awareness of RunSignup at Rowan now because they do have a bigger presence and they do a lot of like student outreach and kind of interact with our programs a lot.
And speaking of Rowan, they just had an event here today where they were showing off a project that they've been working on for the past 12 months.
Yeah.
And you were involved with that too, right?
Yeah. So it was cool. I got to kind of do software engineering from the sponsor side instead of the student side. So I got to see how Bruce and Matt kind of guided the students through this, like without telling them exactly what to do. I don't know. It's like hard to explain, but there's like something unique about seeing it from that side and how a client would ask for their development team to implement specific things and give requirements in a way that doesn't tell them exactly how to do it and leaves them open-ended to like their own creativeness and their own ideas in terms of implementation. Because obviously like Bruce and Matt could probably tell you exactly how to do each and every problem, but they still they just kind of leave it open for the students to come up with their own ideas. And honestly, like when I was thinking about it, I would be like, oh, why don't they do it like this and this way? But then I saw them do it and I was like, oh, I didn't even think of them doing it that way. So it's great that Matt and Bruce are letting them like do all of that creative thinking and stuff like that. And I think it is very similar to how the team operates here, with nobody really tells you the exact way you should do it. Even as a co-op, when I came in with less experience, like my mentor wouldn't tell me, oh, I want you to do it this way, line by line. They'd be like, take a crack at it. And then they review you and they'd be like, oh, I think you can improve in this, and this way. And it kind of leaves you very open for improvement and to learn from your experience instead of just being like completely guided and handholded through it. So yeah, I think that in being part of the software engineering like program from the sponsorship side helped me appreciate that even more, because I see them doing it for me from a developer side in the co-op. I think there's a huge difference between learning something theoretically in a classroom and not knowing how you're going to use this in your professional life and kind of just guessing, to be honest, versus seeing an actual system that generates money, being like using the same exact principles that you learn in those classes. So it really helps you kind of connect what you've learned in college with the real world before you even finish college. So then when you're in your classes in the future, you'll be able to kind of discern like, oh, this is something that is really going to help me in the future. And this connects to this, and this that I learned in the industry, instead of just going in and not really knowing what's going to be relevant in your professional career after college. So yeah, the hands-on experience, it just helps you appreciate like the theoretical stuff you've learned in college, and like stuff like object-oriented programming practices. You kind of use it in class and you're like, oh, wow, this is cool. And you get taught, oh, this is it's useful because of this, and this. But you never really gain an appreciation for it until you're working on a large system that has those things implemented. And you're like, wow, this has made it this much easier. And instead of having to spend time refactoring and developing something like all over again, I can just extend this, or, oh, I can just drop this in here and very easily add to something. Yeah, so that hands-on experience just made me appreciate all of the stuff I learned at Rowan a lot more, and even expand upon it. Like, but there are some very cool concepts that they take that I've learned in class, and they just apply it like completely in a perfect way here. That just makes everything like so clean.
How long does the co-op program last?
So typically with Rowan, it's January through May, and then you may be extended through the summer. I've been extended through the summer, so my co-op's going to last until August. And then depending on how you perform, there's full-time offers or not. It depends on the company. It depends on here or there. It seems RunSignup has a pretty good track record with hiring co-ops after their co-ops. I think Matt and Dewey from last year got hired. So, I mean, I feel like a lot of the co-op companies kind of look to hire after the co-op, as long as the person performs. So it's really just a great option for students at Rowan. And it's really awesome that companies sign up to do it, because it really is just a great way for students to start their career and even get a job outside of college. And even if you don't get hired, it's like you still have that experience coming out, and then when you do go and apply to different places, it's going to be a lot easier because you have worked and you haven't been just in the classroom, which is great, but you can't replace real experience.
Yeah. Now, who is your mentor here at RunSignup?
My mentor is Phil Quinn officially, but I mean, every single person here is extremely friendly, and they all help me in different ways. Like, there's different people who know different parts of the system better than other people. I think that's just going to be a natural part of having a large application. And every single person, whenever you need help, you just need to hit them up, and they'll be like, oh, yeah, I can help you with that. Or even when I first get assigned something, whoever assigns it to me will be like, oh, so-and-so might know something about this. I got a small calendar component that I have to build, and immediately one of our other developers, who actually was a co-op, Dewey, he like reached out to me. He's like, oh, I've been working on a calendar component. If you need help with it, let me know. Here's this, and this if you want to reference these resources. And then when I was first working with our website building, Phil helped me out with that, and then there was actually resources that Alyssa, one of our other developers, had made that were shared with me. So, I mean, there's really just like a close knit between developers here, and a lot of communication that really helps like mentor, I guess, anybody in here. So but yeah, Phil is my mentor, and he helped me a lot with specifically caching. Caching is just, I've heard it's one of the things that developers really have to have the hurdle here. So
okay.
yeah, it was really awesome having Phil help me with that. Yeah.
Well, thanks, Julius.
And yeah, thanks for having me. It's awesome to like just be here and to contribute to the company and also learn a lot from you guys. So,
and I already learned from you today about ranch.
Oh, call me ranch.
Yeah.
Because I be dressing. Yeah. I used the classic line there.
I've never heard that before.
Here, wait, do you want me to show the shoes? I can pop up my leg. Yeah, I can pop up my leg here. Yeah.
He's matching his shoes,
matching the shoes,
shirt.
the shirt. Yeah. Yeah, I just feel so at home here. I want to put my feet on the desk, Yeah.